We're women in America. We have the highest maternal mortality rate among all developed countries.
That's because the United States has the highest percentage of maternal obesity in the world. According to the CDC, 33% of pregnancy-related deaths are due to cardiovascular conditions. It's because of their lifestyle, not because the US is sexist or whatever. Next.
We're women in America. Doctors can legally perform pelvic exams on us while we're under anesthesia without our consent.
Hospitals must obtain written consent for pelvic and similar exams, the federal government says. Next.
We're women in America. We're told our life's purpose is to bear children, but there's no social supports when we do.
No social support systems when you bear children in America? Next.
We are women in America. We know that abortion is healthcare.
All of the early feminists like Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Margaret Sanger, Victoria Woodhull, Alice Paul, they all agreed that abortion was wrong and said things such as, if it is degrading to treat a woman as property, it is no better for a woman to treat her own child as property. Dang. Well, next.
You know, this sort of thing is very safe to do anonymously on the internet. You're wrong, next, then you move on. The conversations with women in real life are never that simple. You can't just say you're wrong, provide the evidence, and move on to the next point. You can't continue because the conversation stops, because the woman starts to cry. Proving her wrong doesn't resolve the disagreement. She just starts a new conversation about how much of an asshole you are. Suddenly, that's what you're talking about, and you can't make any more progress on the original topic. You might be in a hurry, like, you know, let's get to the facts, let's sort this out. But we have an unspoken rule in our culture, which is that conversations can only move at the pace of a woman's emotions. And if what you're saying makes her upset, then you, by default, are a bad person. You are mean. If you want to get your point across, it is not enough to simply be correct. For a woman to get on board, you need to emotionally comfort her, help her, and support her to come to terms with the truth. This is very frustrating for a number of reasons. Firstly, it makes everything very slow. It's hard to make progress in conversations if women just use their emotions to hold that conversation hostage. She throws a tantrum, she gets upset, and at that point, the conversation has to stop while everybody waits for her to catch up emotionally. No, it's worse than that because they can't just wait. It's actually their role to help her catch up emotionally. Her emotions are everybody else's responsibility. And the other reason it sucks is because it means that our culture values truth demonstrably as less important than how a woman feels. Think about it. If the truth can wait, but a woman's emotions can't, then that's the underlying paradigm that we live in, that a woman's emotions are paramount. That's the top priority. Not facts, not truth, how a woman feels. That's more important, and that must be catered to. Think about this in your own life, in situations where there's mixed company. Would you ever feel comfortable just pushing past a woman's emotions? She's clearly upset about what's being spoken about, but you just ignore that? You just keep saying what you're saying anyway? We are so used to it, we don't even question this. We only ever move at a woman's pace, keeping her emotional comfort as our number one prime concern. And when we do witness men who hold truth above a woman's comfort in a conversation, it is fascinating to watch. It's like seeing a snow leopard or some other wild, rare animal out in nature. It is so unlikely to occur that when you're watching it, it's hard to look away.
Men are providers, so go do that job. Go learn a trade. Go do something.
Well, you said that that's all they're good for.
Yeah.
And what are you good for?
A lot of things.
Like?
I'm funny. I'm smart.
You haven't demonstrated that yet.
Okay, well, that's your opinion. I'm a musician. I dance.
You dance?
Yeah, the list goes on and on.
What a great quality. You can dance. What do you bring to the table, though?
What do I bring to the table?
Yeah.
I'm smart. I'm funny. I'm attractive. I have talents.
I don't know if men are so useless that their only job is to be providing for you. It sounds like you're just a typified eater. Like, I don't know what you're really bringing to the table. You're just kind of consuming resources, right?
I mean, if you want to hear the answer that I could be domesticated and I can cook and clean and do all that, I can.
No, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is what of value are you bringing to society?
By being me.
By being you. I'm enough.
I am enough.
Okay.
I'm aware that there is criticism for this style of podcast, and people think, oh, they just bring women on to like own them, to be mean to them. People think it's like outrage farming, just like clickbaity stuff, but I'm not so sure. I think that there's more sophistication going on in these kinds of exchanges than people give them credit for. And I can completely understand why these types of shows took off and became so popular, because it's revolutionary. It's not something we've seen in our culture before, at least not in the mainstream. What you're seeing is women being spoken to like they are men. That's it. It's that simple, but it's so different to what we're used to. Excuse me, miss, you just said an opinion? Okay, explain it. Justify it. Defend it. Oh, you're upset? Irrelevant. The conversation continues. These are the typical standards that we apply to men in conversations, but lots of women cannot meet these standards. There are so many clips out there of women during these shows just like bursting into tears and walking off the set because they can't handle it anymore.
Let me say this really quick. I have obviously bitten off more than I can chew.
No, you're good.
No.
Oh, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. You're a legend. You're a
Thank
legend.
you.
You came in guns blazing. You're doing great.
I tried. No, I really do appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Wait, we got to get through at least all your notes.
No.
Hold on. Just stay we'll get through your notes. I will fast track.
Can you at least leave the booze?
Oh, yeah, I'm leaving the booze. Yeah. That's for you guys. No, I really appreciate you having me on. I feel like that's a reasonable
contribution.
Yeah, I appreciate you
let me
having
at least fast track.
No, I gotta
go. You gotta go because...
Can this be a respectful quit? Like, thank you for everything.
Wait, you can't just leave.
I'm not crying. I'm tired. That's
You're
why.
Tired?
Yeah, I've been up since like 3 a.m.
Okay, but at least, look, you provided a lot of notes. Tell you what, I will...
That's why I'm getting emotional.
Hold on, I will fast track...
This has been really great.
No, listen, but at least hear the offer. You got to at least hear the offer.
Respectfully.
I will fast track. I will fast track your notes. I will fast... You said it was a rage quit?
It's not.
I think it was a rage quit.
Thank you so much.
I think it was a rage quit. I think you can't defend your worldview. You can't defend your worldview. I think you're a coward, to be honest. I think it's cowardly for you to quit.
It is so interesting to watch because for a lot of these women, this is the very first time that they have ever been made aware of their own privilege. They have lived a life where every single interaction they ever had only moved at the pace of their emotional comfort. It's always been so easy for them because they've always been catered to. I don't need to tell you guys, but that is not men's experience of this world. Unlike women, no one gives a shit how a man is feeling. Every single guy watching this video right now knows exactly what I'm talking about. You are a man. You think crying is going to get you out of something, help you avoid accountability? You think the world is going to stop just because you're having some emotions? No chance. You are a man. No one cares how you're feeling.
What's your advice to a guy with feelings?
Obviously you're entitled to your feelings. You're human, but
have them, but don't show them.
Yeah, just cry on your own. Cry by yourself.
All right, let's get real. Here are the facts. For this world to function, there must be reliability and predictability. If you make a commitment, it must be honored, otherwise everything collapses. Women have the privilege to avoid personal responsibility and make everything stop just because of their emotions. Men don't have that privilege because the fact is somebody needs to be steering the ship. So even if his inner world is completely chaotic and a mess and he's filled with inner turmoil, men know that they have to be on deck. They have to report for duty, otherwise the ship is going to crash. The bottom line for who makes sure society continues to function is that it comes down to men. We will be holding the men responsible. And this has implications for how men get spoken to. When giving orders to men, there is no softness, no flowery language, no patience, no consideration given to his emotional state. You are a man. Cut the shit. Get the job done. That's all that matters. That's our daily life. That's what men live under, and nobody stops to think about how cruel that is to men. And yet lots of women act as though any man who doesn't instantly drop any expectation he has of accountability from her the moment that she shows an emotion is being cruel. He's being sexist. He's being abusive. He's treating the woman unfairly. Many women think that fair treatment means catering to her emotions. If she's upset, then everything has to stop. For lots of women, accountability is mean. But the reality is that accountability is not cruel. It's necessary. He isn't being harsh. He's speaking to her with the exact same expectations that he would if he was speaking to a man. And that's actually what equal and fair treatment looks like.
And I can take accountability and acknowledge that I'm imperfect. So for example, if a chick said to me like, hey, Marquette, I really like guys with hair. For sure. Like that is better than being bald. Because if you deal with a woman and you say, hey, rate each other, I'm like, oh girl, you're a bad B, you're beautiful, you're all 10s. Whereas men, we have to live in reality. We have to acknowledge the reality about ourselves and the reality about others and figure out where we stand on the hierarchy. Because I can tell you this, if you ask this young lady, is she intelligent? She look eyes and say yes. If you ask her, does she have manners? She'd say yes. But she's been interrupting and she's been rude and unruly this whole time, which is why I have to address it.
Good news, ladies. The equality that you've always been looking for has arrived. You want equal treatment to a man? Well, here it is. If you state an opinion, back it up. And if you can't, then stay quiet. quiet. It was such a disaster for our culture to spread the idea that everybody's opinion matters, everybody's voice deserves to be heard. No. It doesn't. If your opinions are just emotional mush, they're not grounded in reality, then you are not entitled to a seat at the table. You're still thinking like a child, so you need to be quiet and let the grown-ups have a discussion. Stop talking and listen. Maybe you'll learn something. That's how it is for men. Sure, some guys make it to the top of the hierarchy, but usually that's from eating a lot of shit and learning the ropes to start off with. Equal treatment also means that if you make a commitment, you've got to get it done. How you feel about it doesn't matter. If you let everybody else down because you're too busy indulging your own emotions, there will be zero sympathy and you will be punished with consequences, and rightly so. That's fair, that's equality, because those are the exacting standards that are set for masculinity. Basically, you need to perform or fuck off. But what's normal for men feels to women like they are being singled out and victimized by a targeted cruelty. That's not it. It's just that up until now you had it easy, and you didn't realize that because you were blind to your own privilege. And of course, not every woman is like that. There are a million exceptions. People are individuals. Some women do show responsibility. In lots of families, it's mum, not dad, who's steering the ship, making sure that all the needs of the children are being met. But outside of those exceptions, for some reason, on a cultural level, we decided to collectively gift women the privilege of only having to move in conversations as fast as their emotions are comfortable. And maybe I would buy the argument that from a mental health perspective, that is actually the better way to do it, if we were applying that same standard to men, but we're not. We have easy rules for women and we have hard rules for men, and I think that that's bullshit. But before you guys go and confront your girlfriend saying, hey, Alexander Grace said that it's okay for me to ignore your emotions, hold up, wait. That's not what I'm saying. When I said before that conversations with women can only move at the pace of their emotions, that's not advice that I'm giving you. I'm explaining to you a fact of reality. If in a conversation a woman is not there with you emotionally, it does not matter how much progress you make intellectually, she has not gone on that journey with you. You do need to slow down, learn to speak woman, learn to speak the language of emotions. I'm saying this for your benefit as a man, because otherwise you're not going to make any progress. This video is not about disregarding emotions or the feminine experience. It's about learning to identify in what circumstances a woman's need for emotional integration are justified and worth catering to, and what instances are unreasonable and you shouldn't indulge her because she's just avoiding accountability. And that's what I'm going to spend the rest of this video explaining, how to differentiate between those two so that you can spot the red flags from a woman when she's avoiding personal responsibility, using her emotions, and how you should deal with it. If you've enjoyed this video, but you want a bit more depth, you want to know how to practically integrate into your relationships the theory that I've outlined in this video, you're going to want to watch the rest of this video. That is available on Patreon. What I post here on YouTube, these are just the shortened, abridged versions of my videos. The more in-depth stuff is all available on Patreon.